everyone. Today we have a very, very special guest. Ziauddin Yousafzai is a co-founder and board member of Malala Fund. He is the father of Nobel Prize laureate Malala Yousafzai. For many years, Ziauddin served as a teacher and school administrator in his home country of Pakistan. With Malala Fund, he advocates for every girl's right to 12 years of free, safe, quality education. His first book, Let Her Fly, is on parenthood and fighting for equality. Ziauddin Yousafzai, thank you so much for being with us today. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this beautiful introduction. And I'm so filled with joy. And thank you to Young Citizens of the World Organization for having me on this platform.
We have questions coming from all parts of the world. You are ready?
Yes, here I am.
Okay, so we have a question from Cloverdale Catholic School now in Surrey, British Columbia in Canada.
Hello, my name is Lucy, and I'm a grade 7 student of Cloverdale Catholic School. Please share a bit of your life story for viewers and students who may be less familiar with your daughter, Malala. When others threatened and used terrible violence on your family, and when some did everything in their power to take away women's freedoms and the right to education, what inspired you to have courage to continue speaking out and to teach girls?
Thank you, Lucy. Thank you for this beautiful question. As Genevieve said, my name is Ziauddin Yousafzai, and the world also knows me as Malala's father. And in a patriarchal society, like where fathers are known by their sons, I'm one of the few fathers who is known by his daughter, and I'm so proud of it. You asked about my story. So I grew up in the northwest of Pakistan, in a small village, in a traditional patriarchal society, in a traditional patriarchal family. And I could see two sets of parenthood under the same roof. One was for the girls and one was for the boys. I had 5 sisters, and they get like less clothes, less pair of shoes. They couldn't have milk cream in their morning tea. I had. And the worst discrimination that my 5 sisters went through was their deprivation from education. While I was following my dreams in a school, they stayed home. And I will not blame my parents for that only, because patriarchal societies have patriarchal governments. There were many schools for boys, but hardly any school for girls. So that is why my sisters could not dream beyond becoming wives, mothers, and grandmothers. And I also tell on this occasion that, like in patriarchal society, so many women die as if they were never born. So I grew up in that society, but what changed me, you will have this question in mind, that why I was different. So let me tell that what changed me was education. Education and education. Education was the source or medium that transformed me into the kind of person that I became. Education gave me values. It gave me the value of equality, respect, humanity, justice, and everything that is beautiful about human beings. So that changed me also into the kind of father who became a feminist father. And I will come to your next question, that what inspired me to stand for the girls' education or for the right of education for girls. So my short answer is my human dignity inspired me, because my rights inspired me. And the fear that we had during the Taliban time, when in 2008, Taliban banned girls' education in Swat Valley. This is the valley where my family was living in Pakistan. At that time, before that, I was just a teacher. an education campaigner. But at that moment, when Taliban banned girls' education, I had to stand up for the right of girls' education. And I became a fighter for the right of education through my peaceful movement, through my voice. So in my family is like a proverb goes in English, like father, like son. In my family, it was like father, like daughter. So I spoke, and inspired by me, Malala also spoke. And that is how I should tell shortly that when Taliban banned girls' education, they banned the 50,000 girls from going to school. And those girls who was like some 1,000 girls were studying in my school, those girls inspired me because they had big dreams and Taliban wanted to clip their wings. So they inspired me to speak up for the right of girls. And also I had seen my sisters without education, so I couldn't see any other girl not having an access to education. Thank you, Lucy.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this beautiful answer. We have a question now from Nabiha, a student from Westmount Public School in London, Ontario, Canada.
And I am Pakistani Canadian. My question is, can you tell us about the Malala Fund and how can we help support the Malala Fund?
Thank you for this beautiful question. So basically, Malala Fund is an educational organization which globally works for girls' education. And the vision and dream and goal of Malala Fund is to see every girl in school. There are 122 million girls who are out of school right now in different parts of the world. And Malala Fund works with all those local and national advocates and organizations who work for girls' education in their own countries. So we have been working for the last 10 years in Afghanistan, Nigeria, Pakistan, India, for Syrian refugees in Lebanon and Turkey. We work in Tanzania, Brazil, Bangladesh. In all these countries we work, and basically we work in those countries where the number of out-of-school girls is the highest. And we work basically on three things. Number one, we want the world and the world leaders and national governments to invest more on education. There is a big gap in investment for education. We also work on advocacy and we support local advocates. And also, the third important thing is like we want to improve the quality of education. So in these three themes we are working, and we want to change policies and to implement those policies in favor of girls' education. So basically, Malala Fund was Malala's dream when she was in Swat Valley in Pakistan. And before attack on her, she thought of this Malala Foundation. And at that time, her dream was to work for all those girls who were suffering from domestic child labor. But after the attack on her, when she recovered, Malala and myself, we together founded the Malala Fund. And this is an organization which works for girls' education all around the world, especially in those countries where the number of out-of-school girls is the highest. And we want to see every girl getting free, safe, and quality education.
That's wonderful. We have a question now coming from Miroslava from the National Academy in Kyiv.
Greetings from Ukraine, Kyiv. I'm teacher of English at the National Academy of Internal Affairs. My name is Miroslava and I teach English for 10 years. Have a question to Mr. Ziauddin Yousafzai about education. Please may you answer on my question about changes. What changes do you think are most needed in educational systems for women's and girls' education? May you have some ways of realization to improve the system locally and globally. Hope you can answer my question. I'll be waiting.
Yes, it's a very important question. So what I heard from you is about like how can we change systems of education locally and globally, and how important it is. So this is so important because we need, as I mentioned earlier, we need more investment in education. We need more better schools with greater infrastructure. We need to update our school and pedagogy system with modern technology. We need safe schools as well, where girls and boys feel safe in their schools. Also, the most important thing is global leaders, they should realize that there are 122 million girls who are not in school right now, and they have a right to have an access to education, and we all can contribute to it. Basically, it's not only about those hard girls. Also, we need to change the system of education as well, to update with the demands of the new times. But also, we need to change systems of different countries, of some countries where, like, I will give you one example of Afghanistan. For the last 2.5 years, there are more than 2 million girls who have been deprived from the basic right of secondary and tertiary education by the Afghan Taliban. And the system that the Afghan Taliban have established in Afghanistan is a gender apartheid system, because girls are not allowed to go to schools. Women and girls are not allowed to go to a public place, to a park, to a lake, to a gym, to any other public place. They also can't travel. So this system is a gender apartheid system, and that is why Malala last year in her annual Nelson Mandela lecture, she demanded the world that what is happening in Afghanistan is a gender apartheid system. It should be recognized as gender apartheid system, and it's a crime against humanity. So we need changes in the UN treaty where gender apartheid should be included, and the global leaders, the world leaders should join hands, and they should stop Taliban from practicing this misogynistic system. And we all can play a role, like teachers, students, educators, politicians, opinion leaders. We should stand up and we should raise our voice, and we should demand our leaders that they should stand with the 20 million Afghan women and girls who have been deprived from their basic right to an education and to work and to freedom.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So now we are going all the way to Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Hola, me llamo José, soy argentina, tengo 11 años y bueno, primeramente felicitaciones por lo logrado. Y bueno, acá está mi pregunta. ¿Cuáles son tus esperanzas para el futuro, particularmente en lo que respecta en educación y el empoderamiento de las niñas y mujeres? En roles de liderazgo, tanto en roles gubernamentales como en roles de sectores privados. Muchas gracias.
Really, this is so simple, to be honest. Girls and women are half of world's population. And I always tell people that a bird can't fly with one wing. One can't walk with one leg. So it's so simple. And education for girls especially, it is not just learning basic skills of mathematics or of some languages or science. It is emancipation. Especially in patriarchal societies, girls, when they get education, it gives them an opportunity to unlock their potentials. it gives them an opportunity to be open to all other opportunities. Like girls' education is a package, to be honest. It's not one thing. So this is so important. And our data, like Malala Fund did a data, and they collected a data with World Bank, which tells that if we educate all girls up to 12 years of education, we can add up to $30 trillion to the world economy. So if we want to make this world a prosperous place, then we need to educate girls. Also, if we want to make this world a peaceful place, like when girls are educated, and we have more women and girls in place of power, both in governments and private sector, it adds value. It adds value to democracy, to peace, to equality. And this is how we will be able to make this world a more beautiful, a more prosperous, and a more peaceful place. And my hope is to see every girl in school in all parts of the world receiving quality, free, and safe education, which is their right and which is a win-win for everyone, which benefits everyone.
Thank you again for a very inspiring answer. Thank you. Now we are traveling all the way to Antananarivo, Madagascar. We have a question from Christian Garnett.
Hi there, my name's Christian. I'm coming to you from Madagascar in the American School of Antananarivo here in Antananarivo, Madagascar. And my question is, how has your journey as an advocate and a parent changed who you are as a person? Thanks so much for answering.
I have been teacher for 18 years, so it's nice to see some teachers here as well. My journey as a parent and as a teacher is quite phenomenal in a way that, as I mentioned, I was basically a local educator of education. First, I'll come to my parenthood. So I was just father of 3 kids. I have 1 daughter and 2 sons. And the difference in my parenthood was that I wanted to give to my daughter what my father could not give to his daughters, to my 5 sisters. And that was such a simple thing. I wanted to educate my daughter because I could see that if I want to see a different future of my daughter, I have to send her to school. So, like, I will give you one example that before Malala was born, I named her after the Malala of Maiwand, who was the legendary Afghan heroine who in the Second Anglo-Afghan War raised her voice. And she became very famous. I won't go into the detail of that story, but I named her after a girl who had her own name. She was known by her own name. She had her own identity. And then few weeks later, my cousin brought me the family tree. And when I looked at the family tree, they were all men, fathers, grandfathers, great-grandfathers. And I picked up my pen, drew a line, and wrote Malala. So that small feminist action at that time, so that kind of change in my mind, change in my decision that I will educate my daughter, that brought a big change in my life. So changing from a father who lived in a patriarchal family, becoming a father who is a feminist father, and I'm also proud of my 2 sons who are feminist sons. So that is a journey of a father. And as I told in the beginning, that when I was naming her after Malala of Maiwand, my intention was that she was be known by her own name. I never thought that once I will be known by her name, Malala's father, all over the world. So that is a beautiful thing. And as a teacher, I should tell you that my goal of life was to educate girls and boys of my own community. I never dreamt of being a global educator for education because I know the power of local educators who change their communities through their activism. So my goal was to be a teacher, educator, and education campaigner of my local community. But what changed things was Taliban's ban on girls' education, and then you saw Malala was attacked. So that transformation from a local teacher and advocate becoming a global advocate for girls' education, of course, it's a big change. But the tragedy or the assassination attempt on Malala's life, she miraculously survived. At that time, when Taliban banned girls' education, Malala was speaking for 50,000 girls in the Swat Valley. But now she is speaking for 120 million girls who are not in school. So man proposes, God disposes, they said. That is my journey as a father and as a teacher, quite transformative. But I'm so grateful that now we have Malala Fund, and we want to see all girls getting free, safe, and quality education. And I can't see any girl without education. That is so painful for me as a father and as a teacher.
Thank you again for this beautiful answer. We are bringing you back to Canada with us. We have a question from Lidna and her students at Mary Jane Shannon Elementary School for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing in British Columbia, Canada.
Everyone's beliefs should be honored, respected, and advocated for. What would you suggest to parents, to teachers, in how to support that?
If I understand, the question is that how can we encourage our children to speak up or to be,
Yes.
parents, both parents and teachers. Obviously, this is, I mean, I have seen in so many societies, children are not taken serious. They are not heard. Their views are not valued. I personally believe that what I believed in as a father, the most important thing is like the values of life that you believe in. The most important thing that parents and both teacher can impart to their children and to their students are values. The big problem with education right now that our education systems are devoid of the beautiful values of humanity. Like I have seen PhD doctors, I should not blame PhDs, but I mean that when it comes to human values, to the beautiful human values of love, respect, equality, really, I am shocked when I listen to them. So the most important thing that we should inculcate and impart beautiful values of love, respect, equality, justice to our children. That is the most important thing. Both as father, as a mother, as parents, and both as teachers. And also, like when I'm asked by people that what special I did for my daughter to be so poised and brave girl, I tell them that don't ask me what I did, ask me what I didn't do. I didn't clip her wings. So especially for patriarchal families where parents and teachers both, they clip the wing of the girls. They also try to suppress boys as well. I will ask them that these children are the children of tomorrow. So don't shackle them with your past. Let them live their new life according to the new demands of life. So this is so important that we as parents and teachers, our duty is to make an environment where our children, our students can grow and thrive. And also the most important thing is that we should create a culture in homes and in schools where there is freedom of expression, where people can express their views, and no view is right or wrong, or no view is bad or right. I mean, good. there should be kind of freedom of expression, that everyone is able to express themselves and everyone is listened to with attention. If you ask my daughter that what is my great quality as a father, I know she has said it so many times, that I was a good listener as a father and as a teacher. So we should create that environment of listening and also encouraging children and students to speak up. So that is so important. I hope I answered the question.
Very well. Very well. Thank you so much. And now we have a question from one of our board members, Davinia James Stewart. She's joining us today from somewhere in the USA. Hello, Davinia.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Firstly, Ziauddin, I'm truly grateful for you taking the time out to be with us today. Here's an excerpt from the incredible book, Let Her Fly, which we recommend all teachers and students to read. In Pakistan, I occasionally came across families who kept a bird in their courtyard. Somebody, no doubt a father or a brother, would have taken some scissors to its primary feathers and clipped them so short that flight was no longer possible. When I say I did not clip her wings in relation to Malala, what I mean is that when she was small, I broke the scissors used by society to clip girls' wings. Our question is, your words paint a poignant picture of your commitment as a father to not clip Malala's wings. What inspired you to embrace this nurturing approach, and how would you advise other parents who aspire to break free from societal norms or traditions to empower their daughters? Additionally, while the answers seem evident, can you share your feelings about the result of this decision? Undoubtedly, witnessing Malala's journey, are you filled with the immense pride as a remarkable woman she has become?
Thank you so much for this beautiful question. Thank you. Thank you. As you mentioned that, the most important thing was not clipping Malala's wings. So I ask all fathers, especially sometimes mothers as well, they help fathers, that they should not clip the wings of their children, especially girls. That is so important. What inspired me to make that decision was basically, I was mindful of the inequalities as a child that I could see. Like when I took my mother to the doctor, so the doctor wrote on prescription, Ziauddin's mother. If my father took her, she became the wife of Ruhul Amin. It's my father's name. So this invisibility of women and girls were unacceptable for me. Also, I have seen the helplessness and the hopelessness of women and girls without education. And I have seen the power of strength of the girls and women with education. So growing up in patriarchy, it was very easy for me because I was convinced that what is being happening in my society, in my country, in my community, it is wrong. We are spoiling it. We are wasting half of our population. It's their right, basic right as well, but also it's a big loss. It's a big loss if a girl does not go to school. If it's a big loss if she is educated and she is not, she is prevented from doing work, and so on and so forth. And it's a loss if she is capable and because of her gender, she is not given the chance to lead a country or lead a company. So for me, that was very simple. When I see Malala, as you said, that what I feel for my decision, I think that was, I might have made some wrong decisions as well. But the one decision that I will be always proud of and that my generation will be proud of, I'm sure, was the decision to come out of the sickness of patriarchy and become a person who believes in equality of women and men. And like I believe in it to the extent that I told one day to some guy that even you can write on the tombstone of my grave, Malala's father, write down in brackets Ziauddin Yousafzai. So that is my recognition. That is my, and I'm filled with pride and gratitude for this, because that one decision, like sometimes we make a small decision, but that small decision has a ripple effect. It triggers ripple effect, and they create change of changes. They create chain of changes. They amplify a bigger change. So as I mentioned, that the girl who was speaking for 50,000 girls in Swat Valley, when Taliban banned girls' education, is now speaking for 120 million girls all around the world. And she has become the voice of girls. And I'm so proud of it, because as a human being, I think that our lives are more valuable when we benefit other people, when we believe to grow together, to thrive together. So this is such a beautiful thing, and I'm so proud of.
Thank you so much.
So much. Thank you, Davinia, for being with us today, and thank you, Ziauddin. Your answers have been so inspiring. You are such an inspiring man. We really appreciate that you could spend time with us today. And I'd like you to have a few final words, a final message for us.
Yeah, I shared almost so many things here. But my final message to the young listeners, to the young citizens of the world, is that the world is yours. The world is yours. And don't think of your age when you feel something, or when you want to raise your voice for something positive, and when you want to make a positive change in your home, in your school, in your communities, in your countries. Speak up. Speak up and make this world a better place the way you can. Like, we see a lot of conflicts and wars in this world. The big question is to how this world a peaceful place for everyone, where people with all their diversities, with their ethnicities and religions and languages and colors, can grow and thrive and live a happy life. This world is full of poverty. How can we elevate and we can finish this poverty from the world? This is such an ugly thing for humanity. Like, millions and millions of people are living below poverty line. They don't have food on their plate. 120 million girls are not in school, and so many boys as well. They don't have a pen, a book, and a teacher to teach them, and a school to sit. So how can we help all those children to go to school? And also, like, how can we make this world more prosperous for everyone? And lastly, this is so important, that so far our generations have been taught in schools and everywhere how to exploit the resources of this world, how to use more coal and more other natural resources, oil. Now it's time for your generation to learn how to preserve this planet. I'm referring to the climate change. How to preserve this Mother Earth for us, for yourself, and for the coming generations. So we all can contribute to it in so many ways. We just need that passion, intention, and things will happen. One last thing that I can share with you about education, especially, that you can help, like, to be grateful. I personally believe that when you are grateful, if you are grateful for your education, you should other children to get education who are not in school. And we can do a fundraiser, we can do we can have this discussion in our home, in our school. We can ask our leaders, if they belong to the rich countries, that they should invest more in education. And once we see all girls, all boys in school all over the world having free, safe, quality education, gender-sensitive education, climate-sensitive education, then we all can hope for a more prosperous, more peaceful, and more beautiful world. And the world, by the way, is very beautiful, and you all are great. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ziauddin Yousafzai. You're so interesting to listen to. Your messages are full of hope. We really appreciate you could spend time with us today. And thank you to all the young citizens of the world for tuning in today. Thank you, and have a wonderful day, everyone, wherever you are in the world.